The ethics of care system is a normative ethical theory that holds that moral action centers on interpersonal relationships and/or benevolence as a virtue. It defines good as meeting the needs of others and preserving and enriching relationships. It builds on the motivation to care for those who are dependent and vulnerable, and it is inspired by both memories of being cared for and the idealizations of self. Care ethics is normally described as a feminine and feminist ethic because it is related to motherhood. This ethical system is applied to animals and the environment, bioethics, and public policy. It is not limited to private and otherwise more intimate situations. It involves issues of needs over rights and is founded in the natural human response to care for a newborn child. Ethics of care is applied in many ethical debates, that of which include reproductive technology, which can be artificial insemination or surrogacy. It involves homosexuality. This involves making same-sex marriage legal. It involves capital punishment, which includes the death penalty, and it is also seen within pop culture, such as the music produced by U2 or The Sopranos. Ethics of care emphasizes the importance of emotions, that of which include sympathy, empathy, and compassion, which enables individuals to be more attentive and responsive to the needs of others and to imagine themselves from the perspective of others. Here is the dilemma we will solve using the ethics of care.
It starts with C.
Sweetie, what do you have there? Are you okay, kiddo? Where'd you get that ice cream from? You know you're not supposed to have anything sweet before dinner. Who gave you that ice cream? Tell me who gave you that ice cream. Do you want to get cream?
Now we will be resolving the dilemma using values and the 5 steps listed in class. First step is to identify all known facts. So we know that the little girl took ice cream without permission. She is not allowed to have sweets before dinner. Her mother is abusive, clearly, and she will be grounded or hit for taking the ice cream. Step 2 is to identify relevant values. I have listed 5 of them as leadership, family, love, protection, and bravery. And then step 3, identify all moral dilemmas for all parties. The little girl's dilemma is she's going to be physically hurt and grounded. The mother's dilemma is that if she is reported, she'll be charged with child abuse and locked away for that. And then in seeing the grandmother, her dilemma is both her daughter and her granddaughter will end up hurt from this situation. Number 4 is to decide what is the most immediate moral and or ethical issue facing the individual, and I concluded that the most immediate ethical issue was the little girl was going to be physically hurt and grounded. And step 5 is to resolve the ethical dilemma using an ethical system. So here is the resolution using ethics of care. I got her the ice cream. You know, it's not going to hurt if she has this little amount before dinner, okay? And I've already told her this is a one-time thing. It won't happen again. No need to yell at the poor thing, okay? If you want to be mad at somebody, then yell at me, not her. The ethics of care system is criticized greatly, including that it is a slave morality, empirically flawed, theoretically indistinct, parochial, essentialist, and ambiguous. Slave morality is a concept created that states that oppressed peoples tend to develop moral theories that reaffirm subservient traits as virtues. Subservient means that someone puts what they really want aside to go and help somebody else. The ethics of care puts forth that care should be given without further inquiring as to who is caring for whom and whether these relationships are just. Many people say that ethics of care was derived from observations and experiences with a narrow sample, making it empirically flawed. For example, studies were done on students from elite colleges, not on students from a multitude of colleges, whether poor or rich. And studies were also conducted on women who considered abortion other than women who did not want to consider abortion. It is also thought on if ethics of care is only oriented with women or if it is just femininely approached. Ethics of care is also claimed to be theoretically indistinct because the concerns highlighted in ethics of care could be addressed by other ethics. And this is claimed and backed up by ethical theorists who study utilitarianism and deontology. Its ethics of care is parochial because it is based on more proximal relationships than distant ones. For example, if a car crash occurred, an individual is more than likely to run to their partner to see if they are okay rather than run to the stranger and check to see if they were okay. Ethics of care looks at the relationships between a caring mother and a child who receives care, which in hand enforces sex stereotypes. This is what enables theorists to classify it as essentialist. And lastly, ethics of care abstains from principles and decisional procedures, which often classifies it as being ambiguous. And although the system does abstain from principles and decisional procedures, it does not abstain from all of them.